Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man. Vinsmoke Sanji will be that man. Better than he was before. Better. Stronger. Faster.
What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's about to be that time.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Just took it to my veins!
Certified drip.
It's about to get spicy. Hey, look, he don't feed, he don't feed, he don't feed, bro. Hey, he don't feed, he don't feed, bro. He don't feed, he don't feed, bro. He don't feed, he don't feed, he don't feed. I'm certified dripping.
One Piece 1028 is out, and we're back for it. And you know, there was some heat on feet, which makes this an apron chapter.
Bro, look, he got
So,
the heat on feet, bro.
Let's break it out, people. Let's break it out. Heat on feet. I know I've been teasing the song.
He don't feed. I'm certified dripping. Catch me in my city. We about to get lit. I'm savage and I'm gritty. Look, yeah, I got the heat. Got the heat, huh? And it's on my feet. On my feet, what?
If you are a member, you already have access to the song. It's in the members area. Comes with a free download for the members. That's a little treat for everybody that supports me. Thank you, everybody that does support me. Let's get into this, because this is one of my favorite chapters, or at least, let's just say, the last page is one of my favorite moments in the entire series. I mean, this is up there with Mr. Prince, Thanks for the Light, you know, like all of the really great Sanji moments. This is up there, okay? We're talking full Wolverine, Weapon X, Adamantium Drip, as Barry coined in the stream, you know? We're gravitating to that. Adamantium Drip for sure. This is interesting. The raid suit is altering his body, activating those dormant cells potentially, activating that Germa durability.
Another one.
For the sweet, sweet validation of being one of the people that since Whole Cake Island has said, this is explaining Sanji's powers, and everything else is going to be latent and dormant and come and show up at some point. I'm still waiting for the confirmation that Heat on Feet, Diable Jambe, is actually part of all of this as well. Because as we talked in the 1023 video, I was saying that it's very possible that, like, if they're using Lunarian DNA, then maybe they were using Mink DNA for, like, Niji with his Electro and all of this other stuff. So there's, you know, there's different elements at play here, okay? One of the biggest criticisms that I've always gotten for being Team Sanji is not a failure, Sanji is a success, and is actually, you know, the point that he has emotions is what's going to make him better than his family and retain all of their abilities as well, is everybody's like,
but, you know, then that means that Sora's sacrifice doesn't mean anything.
okay, now hold on, guys. Now hold on, okay? Whoa, 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 whoa. You in the back, hold up. Hold up, okay? I'm a dad, okay? Most people know that, all right? I've got a 9-month-old son. If someone came up to me and said,
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. Better than he was before. Better. Stronger. Faster.
he can have healing factor, he can have extreme durability, all right? But if they said, hey, but he's going to lose his emotions, I'm out, right? But if they said all of that, and he retains his emotions, basically no strings attached, yeah, it's my duty to protect my child. Sora knew what she was getting into. She was with Judge. Judge was already enhancing humans. She knew what the deal was. She was like, oh, you want to enhance the kids? Fine. And then he was probably like, hey, well, I want to take their emotions away too. But something happened to Judge where he wanted to take the emotions out. And eventually we're going to find out what that is. It was until this emotion thing happened that she was out and did what she had to do. But Sanji is, and always has been, a success thanks to Sora, okay? And he's even more of a success now. But you don't have to take my word for it, right? You could take the word of a mother, right? So Chrissy, why don't you tell the people what you think about this? Let's find out. Shambles.
Yeah, of course I'd want Mars to have superpowers. I want superpowers. You know, as long as we both, you know, keep our humanity and our emotions. Fine, perfect. Yeah, I would love that. I would want that. We'd be a little super family, you know. That would be cool. Well, anyway, I'll give it back to Randy. Shambles.
Ugh. So there you have it, right? Sora won. Sora is the MVP. I don't want to hear any more about it. Okay, Sanji is enhanced and has emotions. His emotions are what make him better than the rest of his family, that make him more powerful than the rest of the family. Judge taking away the emotions limited the capacity and the threshold that Ichiji, Niji, Yonji, and to a certain extent Reiju were ever able to achieve. He nerfed his own kids by trying to protect them, right? Sanji, there's no nerfing going on here. And things that kind of sound like Sora, Zoro is in the mud.
Savage.
I don't know how he's going to keep up with this man now.
I don't know how he's going to keep up with him. I mean, come on. Sanji's already got a 330 million berry bounty. He's already on top of Zoro. Like, come on. What is this? He's just surpassing him in every level. He hasn't really taken any damage. Zoro's out here packed up. He's packed up. You know, he's going to be packed up right again once that drug wears off, and Sanji's going to be looking clean. Clean. All right? Bring your best swordsman. Bring him. Sanji's ready to break all of these swords.
I'm just having fun. All right. This is a great fight. This is a great development for Sanji. I'm happy. I'm excited. I want to see where this goes. I'm waiting for some raid suit action. You know it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. And Sanji's really just got to embrace his family in the same way that, Momo's doing and all of that. There's a lot of layers. This is his journey. This is the payoff for Whole Cake Island. That's what this is. We went through all of that. We learned about his family. We learned about the family powers. We learned about all of that. And this is probably the most natural progression and growth that we've seen in the series. All right, I'm going to put my stamp on that. I'm going to say, like, this is the best written power-up in the story. Okay, because a lot of power-ups just sort of come out of nowhere. Gear Second, just happened, and then Oda, tried to explain it afterwards as like, oh, Aokiji, made me want to do this. And, we didn't see him sort of like trying to develop it and all of that. But we've always gotten, for the most part, we've always gotten hints with Sanji. So the foreshadowing, the layers, all of this, it makes sense. Anybody that's upset with this isn't paying attention. So this is great. This is great. New developments all over the place. The turning point? Yeah. We're in the turning point. This is all moving us towards a wild and wacky time that is going to propel this arc even further up for most people. A lot of people think that Wano is the best arc. I'm not in that camp yet. Okay. I needed to finish before I can really rank it. But even as it stands right now, it's probably at the bottom of my top 10 if I was really to think about it. And I haven't actually put much thought into that, but that's, it's not in the top 5 for me. It's not. But with these new developments, I don't know, because on those ships, gotta be Vegapunk, gotta be the SSG. Okay, there's been so much foreshadowing. All right, you go back to Act 1, CP0 sitting with Orochi. Orochi wanted to see Vegapunk. All right, the reactionary response to everything that happened with Doflamingo, this is the natural progression. This is the natural response. Kaido talking about the SSG, saying that the military and the world government has a power that they believe can stand against them, or at least, replace the warlords, right? So from that perspective, Oda was foreshadowing that all the way in 985 when he was talking about the new Onigashima initiative and like laying out that he wanted the ancient weapons and talking about that. So I've always believed that the SSG are Vegapunk toying with lineage factors, taking things from devil fruits. We've already seen that with the pacifistas, right? That Vegapunk somehow gave those robots Kizaru's laser. Didn't give them the intangibility, but gave them like a Paramecia-style version of a Logia. So I'm expecting to see Paramecia styles of like Sakazuki's fruit. So like people shooting magma, but not able to turn into magma. So we're going to see a bunch of people that probably have a lot of different fruits that we've seen and variations of them. Since I'm moving on past the Sanji stuff, I'm gonna drop the apron. I think I'm gonna make this a thing, like only when I'm talking about the Sanji part of the chapter will I have the apron on. All right. So yeah, that's what I think the SSG is. I think that they're totally on those ships. If Vegapunk is coming, there is a potential that we see Smoker and Wano, right? Because Smoker was with Vegapunk healing those children with Tashigi, all right? Which sort of muddies this idea of who or what Vegapunk is. Because the world government is evil, right? And I've been saying, as long as we've been doing, One Piece on YouTube here, is that the final villain of this entire Super Saga is the world government and CP0. It is not Kaido, it is not Big Mom, and all of that. And they're at the top of this. Everything has been leading us to them. And Vegapunk is a part of that. So, with that being said, is he evil? Is he good? We've seen him do good things, but then we know he's also part of evil stuff. So it's like, is he a slave? Is the world government allowing him to do some of his own personal projects because he's, working for them? So it's like sort of this even trade thing. Is he like true neutral where it's like, I got to do this, but I'm also trying to do this. And in that situation, Vegapunk could very much be, in line with everything that I feel about Sword. So, if that's the case, if he's skirting that line, then we could find out, that Vegapunk is a high-ranking member of Sword or something like that. Who knows? And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, because I really just thought about that Vegapunk connection to Sword thing, but one of the earliest instances that we ever got of Vegapunk's name was from Drake in Sabaody. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe there's something there. Lucci's returned. I do not think that he's on any of those ships, so I do not think that Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy are coming to Wano. I think that they're calling all the way from Marijoa. Somebody's got to protect the Celestial Dragons, right? So it makes sense for him to hang back there and not actually be an antagonist that we have to confront again until the end of the story when we're in the final war. Not that I'm necessarily really looking forward to a rematch with Lucci. Not one of my personal favorite villains, but, it seems that Oda is, like, setting that up and shaping it up that way. I'm still waiting for a reveal on who these CP0 members are. I still think that there's a very strong possibility that they are the kids that Big Mom grew up with. And, we've talked about it a bunch of times. They have the same masks. They have, similar characteristics, long arms, all of this stuff. So it's possible that that's, all tied together. It's very possible that, they're all being drawn together by this desire to capture Robin, right? Big Mom is very interested in Robin. CP0 is interested in Robin. Could this be how they connect? Could that be how all of that merges together? It's very it's rich. It's there. It's very possible. I find it interesting from a structure standpoint how Oda is, tying Robin with Sanji, and like having their storylines sort of run concurrently throughout the, this portion of the arc. We know what happened with Sanji and Robin, a bunch of chapters ago. Everybody was like, oh, Sanji's trash, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, our boy is back, okay? Just like we said he would be. But could that mean that Sanji is the one that's going to help and assist in rescuing Robin? If CP0 is going after Robin, it would be interesting if Law gets involved, especially, tying into my theory with Sword, which if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check that out. Law is the person who introduced us to the idea of CP0 in Dressrosa. When we saw the same people that we are dealing with now in Dressrosa, it was Law that said, wow, that's CP0. With Robin. He was with Robin when it happened. There is a potential connection there. And we know in Zoe, Robin is not afraid of getting captured because she's got strong friends that'll protect her. She is talking about how dependable Brook is, which is a way for Brook to get really tested right now, okay, in a way that he never has. And I think that Oda is trying to give each of the Straw Hats that have never fought Cypher Pole agents Cypher Pole fights. So Jinbei has now fought a former CP9 member who's who. So if Brook ends up fighting one of these CP0 guys, that'll sort of check off that box. And if we are getting Yamato and Yamato ends up getting involved or protecting Robin in some way also, that could create some good character moments for, and interactions there, similar to what we got with Frankie in 996, around that time. So I'm excited for all of that. Yamato is back on Onigashima, but, their goal is to get down to the bomb, and gunpowder deposits at the bottom of Onigashima, which is what I think is a part of Orochi's plan as well, and, lighting these fires and sort of kind of creating a bomb for that. I don't think that Orochi realizes that Onigashima is about to be over the flower capital, because if that was the case and he knew that, he may stop his plans and try and figure out some other way to save the flower capital selfishly for himself. And I don't know if Oda is going that route with an enemy of my enemy, and then Orochi, tries to do something that helps the alliance in some way. I don't know. I'm still waiting for an interaction between Orochi and Hiyori to happen. Now, what would be interesting is if Oda is trying to tie Yamato and Orochi together. There's a lot of puns with the names, but then there's also the idea that Kaido wanted Yamato to become the Shogun of Wano. So having Yamato face off against Orochi in some sort of like small fashion, even if it's an idealistic conversation, the person who has the Yamata no Orochi fruit talking to Yamato, who represents Odin as well, I could see Oda going that route. So they might run into each other in the basement. And that might also be Denjiro's plan. That might be where Hiyori went, or if it's Toki, who knows. I think it's all going to come to a head. Now, the world government getting involved allows for other factions to get involved. And I have been saying that other factions are going to get involved for a long time. And now with the government here, that makes the possibility of the revolutionaries showing up even more. It was brought up in the stream that what if this idea of annexing Wano is what Blackbeard was talking about in 956. Blackbeard made it clear that, the government was going to go after something and that he wanted it as well. So that could be a very strong and convincing argument for Blackbeard showing up, which, already has a lot of convincing layers in it, even without that. But that's sort of a, a really nice touch to it. And as I mentioned in my big Blackbeard theory that just came out, Dueling Fates, check that out if you'd like. is that Blackbeard always wins. He finds a way to win. So if he shows up, he's going to be able to walk away with what he wants. So we may have a situation where CP0 tries to capture Robin, but all of her dependable friends protect her. But then Blackbeard shows up, and they cannot protect her from him. So he gets her. You know, so there's ways for Oda to make do on his promise that our friends would protect them, and we could have that inversion of Enies Lobby where we do succeed in that, but then she still gets captured in some other way by Big Mom, by Blackbeard, whatever. I forgot to talk about just how ridiculous Queen was. I don't know what he did. I don't know what was going on there. I laughed. It was hilarious. It's Oda being Oda, you know. It's like, oh, you know, you thought I couldn't top Triceracopter, right? Well, wait till you get a load of this. Momo is having an internal struggle with himself. You know, he's working himself up to that moment. Oda's preparing us. You know, once things sort of really reach that pinnacle moment, that true climax, that's when Momo will kick into high gear, and, you know, we'll see what happens. But these new developments, you know, Oda was making everything look really good, and then he, you know, inserts this to make it look really bad. So we'll see where everything goes, but this is the type of development that I like to see. All right, we're getting character development, and we're getting really great plot progression. So this was a phenomenal chapter. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for everybody that came to the stream. It was a fun one. And thank you to all of the new members, okay? We had Shnaz-chan and Vedant Singh rejoined. And then we have Hunter Hughes, T. Gray, Weather Withdrawal, Mira2548, Trevon Henson, Charles Duchemin, and Red Hood 52. Thanks to you guys for joining the channel. Much appreciated. Again, Heat on Feet music video from Eddie Heartthrob and myself. All right, we call our duo #SavSeason. So that's going to be coming out, and we've been talking about expanding the channel. I'm not creating a new channel. I'm just putting it all here because at the end of the day, it's Randy Troy. We're going to do a lot of One Piece content here, but I'm going to start doing film reviews and different types of analysis, you know, in the future, and I'll eventually start talking about my own experiences in the film industry. Definitely want to do that at some point. But we're going to start off with the first movie that I've gone to in theaters since the pandemic. I got to see an early screening for Dune. So if you want to hear my spoiler-free thoughts on that before the movie comes out on the 22nd, I'm going to try and get that out middle-ish of next week. And that's it for me, guys. Thanks again for everything. I'll see you real soon. Later.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.